First entering the market in 2044, Nuka-Cola was the most preferred soft drink for Americans in pre-war times. Its distinct and somewhat addictive flavours made Nuka-Cola ubiquitous across the entire world. With an almost timeless popularity, not even the destruction of the Great War could hamper the buzz for Nuka-Cola, with post-war wastelanders still choosing it as their most preferred beverage. Or also maybe because the other option is irradiated water. John Caleb Bradburton, the founder of Nuka-Cola, could never have anticipated that his soft drink would survive all the way into the New World. Although in reverse, the Nuka-Cola Corporation probably wouldn't have anticipated he would as well. So let's take a look at this delicious and somewhat familiar beverage. Given the divergent universes, Nuka-Cola can be compared to our world's Coca-Cola. There no doubt were many similarities between the two though, the primary one being how unhealthy they were. And like our real-world version, Nuka-Cola was terrible for people's health and for legal reasons, these are completely separate products. Any reference to Nuka-Cola is separate to the other product. Now, unlike some other product, Nuka-Cola was incredibly unhealthy for its consumers, containing up to 120% of the recommended daily allowance of sugar per bottle. An extremely high level of caffeine was also present in every bottle, the combination of which could cause extreme health problems if consumed regularly. Even 200 years into the future, Nuka-Cola addiction is a very real and very severe disease that has completely ruined the lives of many a wastelander. Some addicts complain that even a day without a bottle of Nuka-Cola can lead to headaches so severe they could be compared to any other drug withdrawal. Increased agitation, rapid movement, and difficulty in concentration are other known side effects. However, most of these addicts would probably just say that they're fine and they're able to stop whenever they want. They just enjoy the taste. However, these toxic reactions to excessive Nuka-Cola consumption were evident all the way in pre-war times, with the marketing division of the Nuka-Cola Corp labelling the product akin to a health tonic, loaded up with all the necessary vitamins and minerals to jumpstart a consumer's day. John Caleb Bradburton was a mere chemist when he began experimenting with flavours to create his own brand of soft drink. Assisted by a team of fellow chemists he labelled his beverages, Nuka-Cola was created in 2042 and available for public consumption by 2044. The incredibly unique taste of Nuka-Cola was created through the combination of 17 fruit essences, balanced to perfection to enhance the classic cola taste. And although a closely guarded company secret, Nuka-Cola aficionados surmised through taste testing that the 17 fruit essences were passion fruit, orange, lemon, lime, blackberry, blueberry, cherry, pomegranate, peach, mango, kiwi fruit, strawberry, raspberry, grape, grapefruit, tomato, melon, and vanilla. However, the official ingredients for a delicious Nuka-Cola are given by the Nuka-Cola Corporation as carbonated water, sugar, caffeine, phosphoric acid, citric acid, caramel colour, potassium benzoate, natural flavourings. Beyond the OG Nuka-Cola, approximately 11 other variations enter the United States market, each to satisfy each customer's own individual itch. These range from the alcoholic Nuka Duck, the root beer-esque Nuka-Cola Wild, or the literally radioactive Nuka-Cola Quantum. A mere year after its creation, Nuka-Cola was the favourite drink of the United States of America, a title that it never lost even after the Great War. The beverage was aggressively marketed towards the standard American family, and in particular children, despite being basically poison for little ones. Friendly mascots such as Cappy, Bodily, and Nuka Girl helped cultivate a fun, cheerful image of a fresh, cool beverage that came to be associated with American culture itself. Across the world, the distinct rocket-shaped bottles sold the narrative of American exceptionalism, with Nuka-Cola becoming ubiquitous with the United States itself. However, the Nuka-Cola Corporation was so much more than just a soda pop producer. Behind the cheery smiles of Cappy and Nuka Girl, an entity as diabolical as any other in corporate America leaded the world. You could even argue that Nuka-Cola had perfected the cutthroat business tactics that came to define the corporate relations of the pre-war world. Competitor brands came to fear the Nuka-Cola Corporation in the same way a gazelle fears a lion in the jungle. They can sip away at the watering hole as much as they want, but at some point, they'll be ripped limb from limb. The aforementioned aggressive marketing techniques meant that Nuka-Cola was the most preferred soft drink of choice for Americans. However, this was not enough for the Nuka-Cola Corporation. The most common approach was either buying out competitors, at best, or hostile takeovers at worst, to acquire popular soft drink brands that threaten the Nuka-Cola empire. If marketable, these sodas would be rebranded as Nuka-Cola products, In the case of Nuka Cherry and Nuka Grape, originally Merle's Very Cherry Soda and Grape Pearl Soda. If not marketable, the patents and IP of these soft drinks would be held by the Nuka-Cola Corporation, with the threat of lawsuits against any who tried to create these brands. Only 2 known rivals of Nuka-Cola survived the barrage of assaults against them, some barely at all. Created in 1918, approximately 126 years before Nuka-Cola, Sunset Sarsaparilla was a pre-war root beer soft drink. Although never reaching the global heights of Nuka-Cola, Sunset Sarsaparilla was the second most popular beverage in the United States, primarily in the northern, Midwest, and southwestern states, and also in Canada. Sunset Sarsaparilla was evidently just as capricious and ruthless as Nuka-Cola. A report broadcasted stated that large-scale consumption of the drink would lead to kidney damage, organ rupture, nosebleeds, and tooth decay. No steps were made to make a safer product. Instead, their PR machine went into overdrive to create marketable characters such as Festus to make people forget about their collapsing organs. Sunset Sarsaparilla's hold on the South and Midwest was something that Nuka-Cola could not abide. As such, efforts were made directly by the founder John Caleb Bradburton to negotiate a deal to buy out the company. However, no matter how much money was thrown into the offer, the Sunset Sarsaparilla company would not budge. Due to the strong solidarity among its owners, as well as the fact that the majority shares of the company were held by them, Nuka-Cola could not utilize its perfected corporate espionage and business tactics against them. Seething at being defied by a 2-bit cowboy company, John Caleb Bradburton sought to steal the company's fanbase with their own similar, but legally safe beverage, Nuka-Cola Wild. He even went as far as to commission a whole new area of the Nuka World theme park, named Dry Rock Gulch, to capitalize on the popularity of the cowboy-themed competitor. Another competitor, Vim Soda, also had to deal with the hostile tactics from the Nuka-Cola Corporation. Founded in the year of 1931, Vim never gained attention from the wider US markets in the same way that Nuka-Cola or even Sunset Sarsaparilla had. However, it held regional domination in the state of Maine and was even under consideration to be labelled as the official drink of the state. Unfortunately, Vim was in trouble as Nuka-Cola had eyed them in their scopes. Litigation had been filed against them via the Nuka-Cola Corp for the trademark of the Quartz name, the lawsuit of which cost them millions, as well as losing out on further millions on revenue. The family-owned company under CEO Doyle Reed was determined to keep Vim independent from being another Nuka-Cola casualty, and sought to expand Vim nationwide, undertaking ambitious marketing campaigns that included power armor sets painted in the colours of the brand. Unfortunately, Doyle Reed had no idea how ruthless Nuka-Cola could be. Initially, Nuka-Cola employees started with low levels of vandalism. They'd put out-of-order signs on the Vim vending machines, they'd tamper with cases of Vim to change the taste, and they'd cover up advertisements with their own featuring Nuka-Cola. The next step was to place their own people within the Vim Soda Corporation to undermine the company from the inside. Madison Young, a high-level secretary in Vim, was secretly on Nuka-Cola's payroll and sought to persuade investors in the company to sell their stock to Nuka-Cola to allow them to begin a hostile takeover of the company. But past this, Nuka-Cola even hired mercenaries. A Vim power armor suit was stolen from its truck, with the driver beaten, delivery trucks were shot at, and its workers were assaulted in their private lives. The intent was to cause workers to go on strike while lowering investors' confidence in the brand, which would allow Nuka-Cola to snap it all up for a cheaper price. Beyond simple corporate ruthlessness, the Nuka-Cola Corporation also became tied to the United States military complex. Nuka-Cola had initially capitalized on its success by launching Nuka World, a Disneyland-esque themed park that was incredibly popular with American families. Themed areas such as Kiddie Kingdom, Galactic Zone, and Safari Adventure provided holidaymakers with a plethora of adventures to experience, and with some of the most advanced technology available in the world on site. For example, Safari Adventure not only showcased exotic animals for the guests, but it included a hidden cloning facility in which its scientists were able to create organic replicas or even gene-splice animals together. This technology was undoubtedly dangerous though. This was evident when a post-war survivor sought to create a creature to defend the park and repopulate the world. And this actual idiot mixed the genetic material of chameleons, alligators, and a super mutant together to create what became known as a gator claw, a reptile that could not be tamed, leading to the Safari Adventure Park becoming overrun with the monsters. Nevertheless, in the present day, although the park remained successful, its safety standards and protocols began to rapidly diminish as the Sino-American War began in earnest. All manner of staff, from performers, maintenance, or even medical personnel, had shortages, leading to the service standards of the park becoming abysmal. As an example, the ravenous bloodworms that terrorized Dry Rock Gulch in post-war times were a known quandary in the pre-war era, but no efforts were made to contain the menace. However, this was not due to mere budgetary concerns. The Nuka-Cola Corporation was as rich and powerful as it had ever been. John Caleb Bradburton, the company's founder, had just begun to focus less on the business and more on surviving the Great War that he knew would be coming in the near future. Using his connections with the US military, Bradburton struck a deal. His core chemist group, the Beverageers, would be repurposed onto United States military research, primarily Project Colbat. In exchange, Bradburton would gain access to the revolutionary Life Extension and Prolongation program, known as LEAP-X. The partnership was quite fruitful for the Nuka-Cola Corporation. Beyond all the money thrown at them, the Beverageers team got to work creating a high-energy explosive, codenamed Quantum, a chemical weapon that was able to be used by the United States Army, both as a weapon and for the purpose of power armor protection. A happy byproduct of the experiments also led to the creation of Nuka-Cola Quantum, a radioactive beverage that became incredibly popular despite the fact that its consumers could expect death at worst or glowing urine at best after consumption. Collaborations with the United States Army, Robco Industries, and the Vault-Tec Corporation also led to the usage of military-grade robots within the Galactic Zone area of the park. And although immensely popular, the robots were described by maintenance staff as a ticking time bomb, as the robots were one short circuit away from going rogue and massacring every innocent they saw, something that did happen in post-war times. Although many within the organisation decried that the Nuka-Cola Corporation had lost its way by entering into weapons development and chemical research, John Caleb Bradburton could not care less. All of it was ultimately a means to an end that he had finally reached. The LEAP-X technology would allow him to survive the Great War and beyond. However, there was one minor detail he was unaware of until it was far too late. The LEAP-X program could preserve biological organic tissue indefinitely, essentially allowing a human being to live forever. And this was absolutely true. However, the program was still in its prototype stage at this time. The amount of power, components, and cryogenic technology were only able to preserve 15 pounds of organic matter in total, which equated to a human head. John Caleb Bradburton, one of the most powerful men in the pre-war world, who once owned half of Massachusetts, the greatest pre-war company, and reportedly had the ear of the pre-war president, did survive the Great War, but he didn't survive it intact. He was ultimately reduced to a head in a jar, trapped in his office for the next 2 centuries. The irony is that many of his neglected park employees also did survive into the post-war world in a ghoulified form. Ugly, but still mobile, and without needing to spend $1 trillion. Bradburton is able to be met in the Fallout 4 DLC Nuka world, within his private office of his pre-war park. And understandably, the man is more than depressed, having spent 2 centuries staring at the same wall day after day. To this end, he asks for the sole survivor to end his suffering. His fate is left in player hands, however. His life support can be switched off, an act that he will praise with his dying breath. However, through the pleading of a superfan Sierra Petrovita, Bradburton can remain alive, but does find a new lease on life, actually having someone to speak to. In conclusion, Nuka-Cola and the Nuka-Cola Corporation were essentially synonymous with the pre-war world of America. If the Fallout series is a reflection of the 1950s era, ostensibly known as the golden age of the American dream, Nuka-Cola encapsulates the crux of the pre-war values of the time: maximum profits over human life, technological advancements over morality, and absolute power via capitalism over all else. And much like its founder, Nuka-Cola continues to survive intact into the post-war world, not only as a remnant of the past though, but as a beverage seen in nearly every wasteland settlement. Not many things survived the Great War, but Nuka-Cola was one of them. As stated by John Caleb Bradburton, "As long as one person in this world still enjoys Nuka-Cola, my legacy remains intact, no matter what I've been reduced to." Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, once again, you know what to do.